Hi, welcome to week one of Management Information Systems. We should have a fun and busy 6 weeks here. And I really want to just start off by providing a brief overview of what we should be doing during the first week. Most importantly, we should all be busy bees this week. You should realize that even though this is an online course, we cover the same material and the same amount of material that we would over a full semester course. So you shouldn't be surprised that there will be a lot of work to do. It's really important that you keep up with the work. There are chapter readings and quizzes, just like there would be during a regular semester. And you need to make sure that you read those chapters, take the quizzes, and make sure that you're keeping up with the information as the weeks go on. I've set things up intentionally so that you cannot take quizzes after they're due. So the first three chapters need to be completed in the next week. I've set up deadlines of Tuesday evenings for each week's content. So all the items that are due this week need to be completed by Tuesday evening. So make sure you know that. There's really too much information for you to attempt to get caught up on these things later in the course. So even though it might seem a little bit like a nuisance to have deadlines like that, it's I think really important. In terms of the book, this week you'll be reading three chapters. The first chapter is an overview chapter. And for me, the most important point is that technology is really important and relevant for all of us, regardless of what your career, what your major is, what company you're going to work for. Technology is a part of all of our lives. Um, so you should find some kind of applicability in this course, regardless of where you think you're going to be going professionally. Another theme that's a big theme of mine is this phrase, change creates opportunity. Technology changes, and as technology changes, the whole world changes. Companies change, jobs change, industries change. So as we're going through and thinking about technology, I really will encourage you to think about how this technology is driving industry change, and then also to think about how that matters to you when you're thinking about looking for jobs later on. In many cases, companies are going to be hiring people to fill new roles that are created because of technology. For example, 5 years ago, they didn't have social media people at companies. Now they do, right? Because social media didn't exist 5 years ago. So again, think about those things in terms of your career, and I really hope that you can picture yourself as having a kind of direct role in the things that we're talking about. Chapter 2 is a case study of a particular company called Zara. Many of you might not know Zara. It's a big international clothing company. But this chapter tells a pretty neat story about how they're using technology to create a competitive advantage against companies like the Gap. A very key point here is that Zara is collecting information in lots of different ways on a continual basis that allows them to make business decisions, basically decisions about what clothes to produce, how many to produce, where to send them. And they make these decisions on a daily basis, constantly, kind of real time manufacturing, if you will, as opposed to an older model where a company like the Gap might have just decided to make a particular set of clothes 4 times a year on a seasonal basis. So they might have come out with their spring line, and over a period of months, they would decide what the spring line was going to look like, what they were going to produce, and how many they were going to produce. That's a big bet, a big guess to try to figure out what consumers are going to want over the next 3 months. Zara, on the other hand, is breaking things down into a very small piece. These kind of daily decisions. What did people buy today? What do people like today? And then they have the systems in place to be able to make and deliver those things in a very, very quick turnaround world. And they've used that model to become very, very successful. Finally, chapter 3 is probably the most important chapter of the 3, looking at strategy and technology. Over the course, we'll be spending a lot of time talking about models and thinking about how to apply models. One of your assignments for this week is to choose a company to study throughout the semester. And one of the reasons that you're going to choose a company is so that you can practice applying a lot of different models and kind of apply those to a real company that you hopefully have some interest in. So these are really important things for us to be doing. Again, we have a lot of work to do. There are many assignments. When you log in to the Blackboard site, I would suggest that you go to the weekly modules section on the left, and then there will be, for example, a week 1 listing of all of the things that you need to do during the week. You can also look at the printout that I will distribute in class and it's posted online and see what assignments need to be done. And you can access those directly as well. So if you know you need to take the second quiz, you can go right to the quiz number 2 folder if you'd like. So either way you want to access it, that's great. Just make sure that you're keeping up with things. I look forward to seeing you, and I look forward to interacting with you online.